So there are 7 critical issues with your website that honestly are costing you money. I'll in a quick critique, I'll go through these issues. I'll explain to you why these are such big problems, and I'll actually show you how you can fix them. So first, a quick overview of what I'm going to cover. The first thing is that you guys have what I call a brochure website, not a website that proactively sells. And I'll explain each of these issues in the actual critique. Number 2 is that you guys don't collect names and emails of your visitors. Number 3 is that you guys don't have a headline to capture interest quickly. You guys actually do have a headline, but I kept this in here as part of my critique because I actually think that it can be done much better, and I'll talk to you about that. Number 4 is that your site focuses on business features and product features instead of what sells better, which is writing on your site or text on your site. It's focused on customer benefits. Number 5, you don't have testimonials or social proof on your site. Number 6 is that your design doesn't convey a level of conviction and confidence in your visitor. You guys obviously have a good company. Your website should reflect it. It's not difficult to do that. I mean, it's a big, it's a subconscious issue for visitors that come to your site. Number 7 is that your calls to action are weak, and this is probably your biggest issue, and I'll explain to you why and how you can fix this. Okay, so let's look at your website. Sorry, I should have had this queued up, but let's go ahead and dive right in. So the first thing is that you guys have a brochure site. You don't have a website that acts like a powerful salesman and works for you. The easy way. A lot of people use the internet as to hold electronic brochures, and that's all well and good. But the marketing data suggests that only 3% of people that come to a website are ready to buy now. The rest have to be nurtured, and they've got to be kept in touch with. And I'll explain how we can do that. The easy way to look at it is, if you had a top sales guy that handed someone that walked in the door a brochure and just waited for them to say something, you'd probably fire that guy. There's important engagement strategies that a salesman needs to do. They need to engage that customer. Okay, so the first or the second point, but the first thing that you guys that I would recommend that you implement is to capture names and emails of visitors. So I know that you guys have a couple things here in order to do that, right? But there's much more powerful ways to get that done, and I'll cover that in this critique. The third thing that I pointed out and that I think needs to be changed is that your copy focuses on product features and business features, not customer benefits, right? Copy that sells best is when it's written toward educating the customer of the benefits they'll receive from working with your company, right? So, it's much more engaging, right? And it's different, it's unique. People don't really use this type of copy, but it's much more powerful. So, the fourth thing, I kept it here, even though you have a headline here. The fourth thing I said is that you don't have a headline to capture interest quickly. To me, this feels generic. Now, what I like to do is talk to the business owner and the top sales guy, record the conversations, and figure out how they sell. Then I'll have the recording transcribed, and I'll pull out lines and buzzwords, and I'll put it, distill it into one headline. This is something you can do. Make it, take the extra time to distill that headline, because they say that a website has about 4 seconds before that person clicks the back button and goes to a competitor. So the headline is really the key here. You want to have a really powerful headline that grabs that customer and entices them to read on, even if they don't want to. It's like they're getting pulled into it. So the next thing is that you don't have customer testimonials. So customer testimonials are the next point after the headline grabs them, right? To overcome their objection. Okay? So after you engage them and you overcome their objection, right, with that genuine headline, then they're going to start reading the copy, and then they'll be engaged more, and they'll start to understand the benefits of working with, Marina Security Gates. So again, the first thing we want to do is really optimize the site for those 3% of hot leads, but then tap into 47% that we're going to talk about in a moment. The next thing is the design and navigation, right? So right now, people are looking at your Yellow Pages ad and they're coming to your website. Subconsciously, they're going to be turned off because the design here is not, up to par with other websites. It's not hard to do, but I would recommend a redesign here. The navigation can be thought out better. It's hard to understand, frankly, and it's also hard to read. You don't want this information to be hard to read. For sure not. I mean, if nothing else, put a really big button about getting an estimate and put your phone number right up here, along with even if you keep that headline and turn it into a different color, make it red or green or something, make it stand out and make this stuff stand out. Put it up here, if nothing else, that will help you convert higher. That's if you don't want to make any real changes to your site. So number 7, is the biggest issue that you guys have. And that is that your calls to action are really weak. And we were talking about the calls to action a moment ago, but calls to action are used to get the visitors to do something. And in the process of doing that thing, they're going to give you their name and phone number, right? So for example, one way that my window's open and you're going to hear the FedEx truck. But one call to action that I like to use that's very powerful is, request a callback. So Google coined this term BFB, which means big frickin' button. They like to use big frickin' buttons. I recommend a big frickin' button, request a callback. When a customer clicks it, a dialog box comes up, they put their name, email, and phone number, they get a callback from a sales guy as soon as possible. Next thing is an online quote. That's another call to action that can be powerful. Put it into a BFB. Make it really obvious. Put it throughout your site, right? Request an online quote. They get an email. They fill in a box, or they request a callback in that box as well. And now you have their contact information. You can put it into a marketing system that I'm going to describe to you in a minute. So number 3 is, maybe you give them a document. You write a document for download on your site. 5 critical things to consider in buying a security gate, right? Don't forget about these 5 issues when you're deciding on a security gate. Something like that. And then you put it into a BFB, put it throughout your site, and then when they go to download that document, they give you their email address and you email to them. Now you have their contact information, right? And what we like to use is something like an autoresponder. This is a system that emails them at predetermined times with pre-written emails, right? So maybe there's 10 to 14 emails in that autoresponder, that email system. And so, like, for example, this is how it might work. The day after they visit your site, maybe they'll get another, and if they've downloaded that 5 critical things to consider in buying a security gate, then they'll get, by the way, 2 more things to consider, right? And then, if they haven't downloaded it, then that's the thing that they'll get, if they give you their email some other way. And then the next email might be, by the way, 2 more things to consider. You might want to know when installing or when purchasing a security gate. Then the next thing would be like a discount, right? So now you're calling them to action. Now that you have this whole new kind of marketing funnel that is all the people that are coming to your site that are giving you their contact information. You want to make that as many of them as possible that are going to buy over the next 18 months, right? Because remember, only 3% are ready to buy now. The vast majority are going to buy over the next 18 months, right? So you give them relevant information. You stay at the top of their mind during the period of their buying decision, and you give them value in order to call them to contact you. So whether it's a free consultation, whether it is a case study, with a discount code on the bottom, or whatever it is, you're staying at the top of their mind, you're giving them relevant information, and they love you for it, right? And they come back to you. So, the bad news with all this stuff is obvious, right? You're missing out on a whole segment of your customers, and you're not converting the customers that are ready to buy in a solid way. Like, the website's not doing that good of a job. Like, he should be fired, right? The good news is that these are easy fixes, and hopefully I gave you the information you need to take a step here. I'm more than happy to sit with you with no commitment required. I feel like I can really help you guys, and so if for no other reason, my goal here, obviously it's to earn business, but my number one priority is to add value. If I can add value to you, I do fine, right? So call me now, 310-844-6518, or book the time below, and happy to talk to you. If someone came to me and said, help me fix my marketing funnel, I would charge them for that. It's a really valuable, thing that we specialize in. But I'm happy to sit with you, and no commitment required. I hope you have a really happy holiday, and all the best to you.